Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Paddy from Cross the Shuck, and you're very welcome to another new Monday. And you've seen the title already. The title is something to do with pen knives because that's what I'm going to talk about is pen knives. I was sitting having a little muddle through this morning and thinking of what video I'd like to do, and the pen knife is the much maligned. We all talk about pen knives, and I mean, let's be honest with you. I'm just going to get something. When I'm out and somebody says, have you got a knife? Yeah, a wee pen knife. Here it is. And I can bring out. That's just a single bladed knife. And calling it a pen knife, is that wrong? No, to be honest with you, it's not in my eyes at all. It is a little pen knife. It's a knife and it's very small, little small pen knife. So quite happy with that. It doesn't matter what you actually call it, but the true definition of a pen knife is a two-bladed knife, one larger and one smaller, coming from opposite ends. That's what a true penknife is. And to be honest with you, for the longest part of the last century, this would have been probably the most carried penknife, the most carried pocket knife, I should say. It's a lovely little pocket knife, and like most people keep saying, and the truth is, 90% of anybody's day you can get through with a little knife like this because you've got the blade that you use the most. And I keep this one razor sharp. I would tend to always use unless there's an occasion not to, I would tend to use the main blade because it gives me that little bit of length. Now this one's about 2 inches just over in length. Well, yeah, it's just under 2 inches, but it will do me for most of the jobs I've got to today. It's lovely and thin, so it'll slice most things. To peel an apple is lovely to peel with this sort of a pen knife. Absolutely perfect for peeling your apple and then slicing it up. Your lunchbox, it'll cut your sandwich. It'll do anything that we want it to do. And I mean, this is what I was brought up with as a young boy, was pen knives like this. This is actually a Richards. They made so many pen knives. They used to be on the wee, do you know the way you get nuts behind the bar? You used to get pen knives in wee sheets in the hardware stores or wherever you got them from, hanging up behind, and they just peel one off it and give it to you. There was no wrapping, no nothing. So it's been really nice to just get back and talk. This is a really lovely one for me. This is a Silver Jubilee. I joined the Navy in 1977, which was the Queen's Silver Jubilee. And when I seen this on Etsy, I thought, I've got to have that. Just got to have it. And it's a part of my collection that will never leave anywhere. I'm just going to pause this for a minute. Now, sorry, folks, but one of my daughters and about 5 grandchildren have just come in the house, and the noise was horrendous, so I just give it a wee pause. Anyway, to get back to it, pen knives. Yes, this was the sort of pen knife that I grew up with. They only cost a couple of shillings, and you got a pen knife. And we used it for everything, for making forts, for doing all sorts. And again, I'm sure I've talked about this before. Sorry if you've seen them sort of videos, but this was used for everything. It was sharpening the side of a road on a smooth bit of pavement. And they done everything as a child. Loved them. Loved having a penknife on me. So I picked out a few here just to show you that there is such a wide range, and we can go back years. These top two here, these go back to, I'm not sure. This one might even go back to the late 1800s, but these are the early part of the 1900s. I'm going to say, just for, I can't prove otherwise. I don't have that sort of knowledge. But this top one, this is a Chattaraugus, and this was a company started in the late 1800s, and W.R. Case was part of the twosome that got together and made that company. They later disbanded, obviously. They didn't. I don't think they lasted very long together. And the next one is a British knife. This is an English knife. This is Needham Brothers in Sheffield. Beautiful little knives. And what I like about them is these lovely little end caps. For a small knife, you don't need a big bolster. I just think that looks classic. And these would be two of my favourite little knives. This one is one that I use and carry. I just adore it. Look at the bone, how it's aged over the years. It's beautifully done. So beautifully jigged. It's just random jigging, and I just think it's beautiful. And this tiny little bar shield. Everything about this knife is just beautiful. Lovely little thin pen blade. These are in carbon, obviously. Beautiful, but this one has really held up over time. And Look at this one. I just think this is beautiful. This is where this knife has to slide past this without scratching it. And so it's been taken, it's been filed off there. But you'll see on the back side, it's just a straight blade because this goes up against the side of the knife. So when this goes down, you can see where that's chamfered away, and then this blade will just slide in between it. Look at that. Just perfection. I mean, I could sit and just look at the perfection of this knife. Look, again, for the age, it's over 100-year-old, I would say. And it is absolutely stunning. I love it. Look at the way that fits in. Just gorgeous. This other one is very much the same, and that's the same pattern from an American maker, and here from the UK. You know, I honestly believe this one is definitely an old knife, but you can see the way that's been chamfered down there, so that this is much the same, and it's still got snap in them. The way it snaps in together, perfect, just perfect. And the craftsmanship to do that with old machinery, with basic, I mean, these are all hand hammered, you know, pins through it. Beautiful little shield on this one. Isn't that the dinkiest little shield? And this is just a white bone, and you can see the way it's dyed over the years, or not dyed, that it's changing colour over the years. They all go creamy, and this is probably bright white when it was bought. But to get that little shield in there, just, oh, workmanship. And the feel, it's like you're feeling history, in my eyes. I'm a bit of a dreamer, so that's easy for me. But those two, them top two, are just so special to me. So is this. This is probably from just after 1945. This is a service issue. You can see the two arrows there. This is a service issue for officers. It was a little pen knife that was given to officers. Again, very just great, simple, straightforward design. But although you don't have that fancy detail on this blade, it's just a little pen blade. And listen to the snap on them. They are beautiful. Just a lovely little knife, just in stainless steel. But isn't that just gorgeous? Really nice. And I'm bringing us up to date sort of more. I know this is probably out there. This is probably, you know, the later part of the 19th century. And this is from Sheffield, England again. This is a tailor's eyewitness. Look at that. I love this knife. I love this little sheep's foot. And I love the fact that it's on the serpentine shape. It just makes it a beautiful pen knife. I carry and use this one. I always keep these ones little sharp. They're little razors, honestly. They just slide through anything. They're little razors, every one of them. But this is just a lovely little whittling knife, as I would call it. But a really handy little knife to have and use. And again, the snap on all these are my good ones. I mean, I've got ones in there that haven't got much snap left in them, and that's absolutely fine. But here's one from the 80s, and this is a little Boker, and this is a little Boker pen knife, the same size as a little peanut, but it's a pen knife. The blades are coming from opposite ends, and I just love it with this long pull, the swedge, tiny, tiny little. I mean, that really is just a tiny wee pen blade, but again, razor sharp. They're absolutely razor sharp. And this was made in America. Boker made knives in America. I think it was 1986 that they opened a factory there and made knives. I'm not actually sure how long it lasted for, but you have the shield in it, but it just says Tree Brand. It doesn't say Boker Soligen like you'll see in most of them. This is Boker Tree Brand, made in America. Fit and finish is amazing for such a tiny little knife. Now, this is just a plastic of sort, but it's jigged beautifully. Look at that. You wouldn't know that was plastic, would you, until you sort of turn to the side and then you can see it. But gorgeous little knife in my collection. And let's get up even more. This is a Queen City. This is a proper Queen City, not the Rough Rider one. This is made by Queen City, by Queen. And this one is from 2012, I think. Yeah, there you go. 2012. Gorgeous penknife, bigger penknife. This is an EDC. This will do me all day long as an EDC knife. Lovely snap on this, nicely made by Queen. The blade is about 2 3/4 cutting edge, so that's a full EDC for me. That will do me all day long. And I love this bow tie shield on it. Beautiful. Again, this is in bone, beautifully jigged. This is when Queen made really good knives. You know, this is a good knife, 2012. You still could get good knives. But I adore this one. Love it. It's in such good condition. And the Queen City was their cheaper brand of knives. So you can get bigger pen knives. There's plenty out there. And last but not least, probably one of the little dinkiest, thinnest blades that will do so much for you. This is a Wenger. This is not the sack. This is the Wenger version of a penknife. You have a lovely blade there. It's not very big, but it is just a little penknife. This is you're using it for tags, open up a package, open up a letter, cut a sandwich in your box. But look how thin that is. It's so thin that I like the Wenger because look, a gorgeous little clip point, and you get more belly on a Wenger knife. And that's why I like the Wengers more than the sacks, to be honest with you. But you get a little clip point, just beautiful. If you're sitting at the side of the road and you want to do a bit of whittling, you've got everything you need here to sit and do a bit of whittling. Light whittling, just pick a stick and whittle it. You know what it's like, taking the bark off a stick. That's what I call whittling. I love doing something simple like that, just with a little knife. So I wonder, how many pen knives have you got in your collection? And I mean pen knives with a blade that comes from either end. Or should I say both ends, not either end. Comes from both ends. Or, I know I got it right the first time, didn't I? Yeah, thick as champ. It's just... And if you don't, these are sort of things you can pick up on Etsy and things like that, and your Facebook groups. Just get in and try some different pen knives or knives in general, and go the older ones. Like I'm ranging from the latter part of the 19th century right up to the 20th century, you know, from 1880s up until 2023. There is so much in between, and it's all that same pattern of a knife, but they all look completely different. That's what I tried to lift. They're all completely different looking. And it's lovely when you build up this sort of collection that you can take them out and you sit them all in front of you. Well, for me it is just seeing what they're like through the ages, because they don't really change. Their materials might change a little bit. Their end caps might, I mean, you don't get end caps like that on knives anymore, or very, very rarely. I haven't seen one in a long time. Bare ends, full proper end caps on these. And again, just plain metal blades. So the choice is out there. They're nice to have in your collection. They really are. And you see when you're actually, you see when I carry something like this, I brought a couple of, I have a lovely wee leather slip here. I just slip that in there. What a beautiful carry. It weighs nothing, nothing. And I just carry that with me to keep it safe because it's bone. I mean, these come with it. This is a little Wenger. Comes with a little case. It's only plastic, but what a lovely little carry to stick in your pocket. Beautiful. Lovely to have and bring out if somebody says, can I borrow a knife? There you go. I mean, that's non-threatening. That's not going to worry anybody whatsoever. So that's another reason to have a little pen knife on you. If somebody else asks you for a knife, you don't have to give them one of your very special knives. Although I wouldn't give anybody this one. Oh, I am bad. But yeah, this knife just really does it for me. The bone is so nice. It's really well made. It's thin, it will cut, it will, you know, it's just lovely. But you see, as a worry stone, there's nothing better. There is nothing better as a worry stone than a little bone pen knife that's been handcrafted by hand by a human being and not a machine. This is why I like it. This is just lovely to have in hand. If I fancy something smooth, there we go. There's the other bone. Isn't that lovely? And you feel the coldness and you feel the just everything about it. This is what I do in my real life. I sit at night sometimes, or I sit at this table. I'll get knives out, and while I was thinking of doing this video, I was sitting with this in my hand, and you can feel the metal ends. It's just, that's what makes knife collecting so exciting, to go through you know, a period of time and see the different knives you could get, from my boyhood knives to my now, you know, modern pocket knives, 2012. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed that little walkthrough. It was something I just felt like I wanted to do. I have done these in the past, but you know, this changes up all the time, and I get more, and that's just the way it goes. So take care, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Have a great Monday. And I just wanted to share something with you. I had a full night's sleep last night, and I cannot tell you, I'm a bit of an insomniac, but I slept the whole night. I've been having sleeping problems, and the doctor actually gave me a couple of sleeping tablets, and I went out at about 12 o'clock last night and did not get out of bed today until about 10:15 I woke. I can't tell you how many years it is since I've done that, and I feel absolutely amazing today. So please share my joy, and have a wonderful day yourself. Bye bye now.